name is Bob Unger. I'm the Director of Worship and Music at Resurrection Lutheran Church in Cary, North Carolina. I'd like to visit with you today about the hymn, Blest Be the Tie That Binds. The words were written by John Fawcett. He was born in 1740 in Yorkshire, England. His father died when he was 11, leaving a widow and several children in difficult circumstances. When he was 13, John became apprentice for a trader in Bradford, where he worked for 6 years. While there, he was listening to the famous evangelist George Whitefield, and he had a conversion experience when he was 16. Fawcett remembered the sermon, "As Moses lifted up the serpent in the desert, so the Son of Man will be lifted up." And the text from John 3:14, "Until the day he died." He joined a Baptist church, and his determination was to one day become a preacher. Through diligence and much prayer, his dreams were realized, and at the age of 26, he was ordained a Baptist minister. Shortly after his ordination, he was called to take a pulpit at a small Baptist chapel in the village in northern England. He traveled there with his new bride and established a home. He ministered faithfully to the needs of the community there. The young couple was blessed with a family, and as the children grew, they became an integral part of the town. Of course, then deep friendships were forged. He was a humble, committed pastor who was loved by the people he served. He also was a scholar and educator and a writer. He wrote a poem defending the historic Christianity against Dr. Priestley, who attacked the divinity of Jesus. The same year, he went to London to preach for Dr. Gill, who was an eminent preacher, nearing the end of his long, productive life. After Dr. Gill's death, the congregation invited Mr. Fawcett to fill the prestigious pulpit. Although this included a great increase in salary, which would help his growing family, what was more important to Fawcett was that there were many more people to serve and lead. He felt it was incumbent upon him to take the new ministry. In the weeks before his departure, John continued to serve his small congregation as he had for 6 years. Daily, the townspeople would stream to the cottage that they had to offer their thanks, relay their sorrow at his impending departure, and seek some last bits of wisdom from this young pastor they had come to love dearly. Finally, the day of departure arrived. John preached a farewell sermon, and then, with the help of friends, loaded all of his family household goods onto several wagons. He and his wife were loved that so many were there watching and crying. It was heart-wrenching. Soon the pastor and his wife were also in tears. In great anguish, his wife said, "I can't bear this. How can we go?" "I can't either, and we won't," he shouted. "Put it all back in the house." And everyone rejoiced. Fawcett sacrificed personal advancement and a more comfortable living for his family to remain with the people who loved him so much and whom he had grown to dearly love. His life demonstrates that we do not need to advance to higher positions, but we are content with what the Lord would have us to do. The following Sunday, Fawcett preached from the New Testament book of Luke, chapter 12, verse 15, which says, "Take heed, beware of covetousness, for a man's life consisteth not in the abundance of things which he possesseth." At the close of the sermon, he read a poem that he had composed entitled "Brotherly Love." Years later, the verses were set to music, and they became the well-loved hymn, "Blest Be the Tie that Binds." Fawcett's ministry and the congregation grew. A new chapel was built near Weston. The dedicated pastor gave over 50 years of service to the people of that village in Yorkshire, but his ministry reached far and wide. He published a hymnal, and in it was the tune and the hymn, "Blest Be the Tie That Binds." He also wrote two other hymns, which appear in many English hymnals, "Lord, dismiss us with thy blessing," and "How precious is the book divine." Fawcett was also invited to be the president of the Baptist Academy at Bristol, but he declined. He opened a school for preachers in his home. He received an honorary doctorate degree from Brown University in the United States. His various writings were widely read, and although regarded as an eminent clergyman author, he remained a humble, caring pastor. When he died, he exclaimed, "Come, Lord Jesus, quickly come." And he died in the faith that he believed and proclaimed in 1817. "Blest Be the Tie That Binds" is featured in Act 1 of Thornton Wilder's Pulitzer Prize-winning play, Our Town. One of the characters, Simon Stimson, conducts the church choir while they're singing it. Now we look at this hymn, which expresses the warm relationship that exists among Christians. I'd like to read a couple of verses from this hymn. "Blessed be the tie that binds our hearts in Christian love. The fellowship of kindred minds is like to that above. Before our Father's throne, we pour our ardent prayers. Our fears, our hopes, our aims are one. Our comforts and our cares. From sorrow, toil, and pain, and sin we shall be free. And perfect love and friendship reign through all eternity." This tune that we've been looking at is called Dennis. Johann Nagli was born in Switzerland in 1768. He established a music publishing firm, which included a number of important first editions, including the first printing of Ludwig van Beethoven's sonatas. He was a pioneer in music education. Lowell Mason from the United States was much influenced by his methods and applied them to his work in the United States. In addition to a number of vocal and instrumental works, Nagli published some theoretical works and was a music editor. The tune Dennis was included in Lowell Mason's The Psaltery in 1845. And Mason ascribed the tune to Nagli, but he did not give a source. Another tune that's been associated with this is Boylston. It is also by Lowell Mason. It first appeared in the choir, or unison collection of church music, in 1832. It may have been named for a small town in Massachusetts. Popularity and familiarity with this text married to this tune was in the Lutheran hymnal.